Hello everybody and welcome. I'm your host Captain Awesomeness, and today I am going to do a quick tutorial on how to navigate through high voltage karting. This is my version of how to go through it. There are other guys who can probably give you a better tutorial than I am right now, but I just figured, you know what, it's time for me to share with you how I got myself into the 38 flat zone. Alright, so real quick, let's orient ourselves with the map. This area that you see right here is the indoor section. That is of course the outdoor section, and this tutorial has to do with when both the indoor and the outdoor extensions are open. When it rains or snows or it's too cold, the outdoor extension is closed and the indoor section is all that's used. I will do a separate tutorial where we address how to navigate through the indoor part. So in this tutorial, let's just talk about the track layout real quick. Just remember this, the orientation is going to be this way like these two black bars show, only that there are 4 lanes of cars that are ready to go out here. All right, so when you come out to the track, what happens is there's this little gate right here. It opens up and then you navigate through all the way. And that first rotation is when the kart is not at its full potential. It's key for you to understand so you know that the first lap, which happens to always be the slowest, is because of that. Anyway, so when you come around and hit this particular apex right here, or when you are right here, is when you usually get your full power. Sometimes it can be as late as here. It just depends on the marshal or any issues that they may be dealing with. Anyhow, so if you are on full throttle here or here, it doesn't matter. But when you are, just remember this. You got to make sure that you are all the way on the right side of this straightaway. When you're on this right side of the straightaway and you begin to see that there is a turn coming up to the left, you want to make sure that you kiss the apex here. All right, so when you go through here, you want to make sure that as you do that, you don't hit this apex here, but you kind of stay on the outside of it. Once you arrive right about here where this apex is to your right, you want to brake hard, but you want to brake for just a moment. You hit that brake, and then you let the kart coast. You do not get on the throttle at all until when you've made that turn, you feel like the kart has given you enough of an orientation to then kind of stay this way. So you make that turn in and you come through here, you hit that gas pedal. As you come in to the right side of this track, you will see that it's turning left. So you want to make that quick turn. As you make that quick turn, you then stay all the way on the outside. As you're all the way on this particular track, just remember this, it's just a straightaway. It has this little kink right here, but you want to stay on the right side. As you come up to the very end of this, a lot of people do different things, but I'll tell you what I do. There are 3 white marks here, maybe 4, but as soon as I see that I'm on the first or the second white mark, and they're just basically white lines that kind of sit like this, as soon as I see the second mark, I will get off the throttle, make my turn in as early as possible, and then once I feel like the kart has oriented itself to where I will remain on the inside of this particular area, I will then get on the throttle, and I'll arrive right here at this particular apex, and I would want to stay all the way on the inside, which would be the outside of this right side. And the idea behind this is that you want to position yourself for this upcoming turn here. So I will be full throttle here, and then when I see that this kink's coming up, I'll make that turn and I'll stay on the outside. As I come in and see this large hairpin, basically, the idea behind here is that once you approach this particular apex, you want to make sure that you're 25% of the way on the outside of this apex. All right, so you want to kind of skip this apex. You don't want to kiss this. You go out and you will hit the apex of this turn. That will position you to come through what looks like it's almost a straightaway, but it's not. These kinks over here kind of prevent you from driving straight through. So you want to kind of follow the way these kinks are, but you want to follow them at the later stage of that turn. So you go past it, then you turn, then you go in here. As you're past here on this particular turn, you will follow it, but then once you arrive to this particular apex right here, you want to come off the throttle just about when you are about to hit that apex so that you can get your nose to angle just right. And right when you get past it, you get back on the gas and you try to follow this particular area right here. This is the entrance back into the inner side. So before you get in there, you want to come all the way out here. You want to come off the throttle real quick, turn in, and once you feel like the kart has turned just right with you kind of facing this way on this side of the inner side of the track. You then get back on the throttle, and from here you kind of coast a little bit to the outside a little bit, and that's when you hit this particular apex and you try to go as straight as possible. Now again, you see that this track is still kind of moving away from you to the right, so you want to go as much to the outside as possible. Stay there, kiss this apex right here, and soon as you reach this apex, you want to make sure, first of all, every time you brake, your steering wheel is straight. So you keep your steering wheel straight. At this apex, you just brake as hard as you can, but for a very, very quick moment. And then you make that turn in. That's when you come back on the throttle, is after you've made your turn. This will position you to then come through this particular section right here that is a left-hander. You want to take a late apex on this particular turn as well. So you're going full throttle in here, you take that late apex, then there's a little kink to the right. You want to navigate through there, but want to kind of stay as much to the right as possible. You want to kiss that area, and you will see that left-hander come right after this particular area, and you're kind of wanting to make sure that when you turn in from here to here, and this is again all full throttle, that you keep this particular angle as minimal possible. So what you want to do is, you don't want to go all the way out. You want to kind of stay a little bit to the inside and then gather up all that speed and then hit that apex back up for the straightaway again. So that's a real quick rundown of how I navigate through this track. This is how I was able to do the 38.034, and right after this video you will see a recording of one lap that I did the other day when I hit that lap time. So that's all I have in how I want to explain this to you guys. If you have any questions, any comments, please definitely leave them below for me to answer to you, and I will answer. And if there are any suggestions that you guys have, please do that as well. But I hope you guys learned something different than what you may have been trying, and that is really the intent behind why I created this video. So thank you again for watching, guys, and I will see you guys in the next one. Bye-bye.